Quiz review answers. Here we go. So to start, this is very similar to your quiz. But the problem is that there's a lot of vocab in these first 4 problems. So you need to go back and memorize that chart. Understand the difference between a binomial, a trinomial, a polynomial versus quadratic, cubic, etc. That chart's essential for your success on the first few on the test, being able to identify them. So let's just put it in standard form. So we're going to go highest degree to lowest degree. So it is the highest degree first. So 6x squared minus 8x. And the number always goes last. And then it says name it. Okay, so it says based on its degree, number of terms. If it is a second degree, remember we name it off of the biggest term here. So this is a second degree and we have a first degree over here. We don't add those together. Okay, so we kind of just ignore that. This is a quadratic. And then we count the number of terms. 1, 2, 3 terms. So tri means 3. Trinomial. Down here, you would have the negative g cubed first, because we always start with that. Then we go squares if we have it. 3g squared. Then 4g. And then 2. So this is a cubic because it's a third degree. And then it's a polynomial because it has 4 terms. And sometimes you have to label as a polynomial with 4 terms. So distinguish between 4 terms and if there's 5 terms and things like that. So just do cubic polynomial with 4 terms, although sometimes you might just see cubic polynomial. And now notice here it changes. Now I need to take these and add them together. 6 plus 5 is 11. 8 and 5 is 13. That is the degree of these monomials. So if you had that up here at the top, it would be the same thing. These higher degree ones would come first. Because this is a monomial. Remember, a monomial is a single term. So there's a monomial. There's a different monomial, including that negative. Here's another monomial, etc. It says simplify the sum or difference. When you do subtraction, you gotta be a little bit careful. I always like to write it underneath and match them up. Sometimes they match up, sometimes they don't. In this case, they do. Look, I have a 4th degree and a 4th degree. I have a number and a number. I have an x to the first and an x to the first. So if I subtract a negative, because this subtraction gets kind of distributed in, okay? Because I'm subtracting a quantity because of those parentheses. So if I subtract a negative, I'm going to put this x to the 4th right there. And then subtracting a negative there. So I add 10 to negatives. I add 5. I'm going to get to 10 here in a second, sorry. And I subtract negative 9x, so that becomes adding 9x. And now, I'm going to add these together, negative 7 and 9x. And the reason I'm adding, if I want to use that word even, I'm just combining like terms. So it just so happens I have negative 7x and a positive 9x, so I have a negative 7 plus 9, 2x. Negative 5x to the 4th plus 7x to the 4th. And 5 plus 5 is 10. But then my answer, I can't write it like that. So if this was a short answer, it would probably be worth 3 points, 1 for your work, 1 for your answer, and then 1 for having it in standard form. If it's addition, if you just want to cross them off as you go, or whatever, underline them as you go, you gotta be careful on this one because it is tricky, and this is really important to point out here. I have 4 and 6, 10 u cubed. But look here, then I got a squared. I don't have a squared over here, so I don't add that to anything. And then I got a u, but then I have two numbers that add together. Simplifying the product. Now we're switching to multiplication. So I'm just multiplying everything here. So 2n times n squared is 2n cubed. 2n times 3n is 6n squared. And 2n times 4 is 8n. I'm going to pick up the pace here a little bit on some of these because they're all kind of the same. So 4 times 3 is 12, p to the 4th times p to the 4th is p to the 8th. Okay, so I took care of that. Then I got here 21 p to the 7th. And then I go here 12p to the 5th. And then I go here last 3p to the 4th. Little trick here. Okay. So watch this. These A's I add together. So that's 35 A to the 9th. No big deal. But then here, I have 7 times negative 2, which is negative 14. But look, these terms don't match. But when we multiply, we can put them together. So I end up with 14 a cubed, b cubed. If I added them together, they would be separate terms. If I multiply them together, I merge them. The best way to do these is our distributive property. So notice this is the same term written twice. And that's just taking care of the FOIL method here. I rewrite that right there. And then the FOIL method there, which I rewrite over here. 9x squared minus 15x minus 21x. And then my negative 7 times negative 5 becomes a positive 35. These have to combine. They become negative 36x. And there's my answer. 9x squared minus 36x plus 35. I will require you to show some work on your test. You can't just write me the answer. This work needs to be shown. So if you watch this video, you know that. You don't watch this video, you don't know that. Same thing, split it. So I get 8x squared, 4x times 2x. 4x times 5 is 20x. 3 times 2x is 6x. And 3 times 5 is 15. Those combine to get 26x because they're both positive. And then write my answer on the line. This doesn't change, even though you have a third term. Apparently, I'm just going to write it more sloppy. So now I did 2k. So we a couple more things to combine on this one. So 2k times 2k squared is 4. I just can't do k tonight. 4k cubed. 2k minus 4k is negative 8k squared. And 2k times negative 3, negative 6k. Come over here. I'm going to add 6k squared. Now I'm going to subtract 12k. And then 3 times negative 3, negative 9. So look, these have to combine. Those have to combine. So on my line, 4k cubed, negative 8k squared plus 6k squared, negative 2k squared, negative 6, negative 12, negative 18k, and then my negative 9. So when we square something here, we just write it twice. That's what's going on in this case. So I have 2x times 2x minus 6. That's this part. And then negative 6 comes here. I have 2x minus 6 again. So 2x times 2x is 4x squared minus 12x. And again, I have, so I had 2x times negative 6 to get negative 12x. Now I have negative 6 times 2x to get 12x again. And then I have negative 6 times negative 6 is a positive 36. That combines to get a negative 24x. So I have 4x squared minus 24x plus 36. Some things here. These are special cases. So you have 8m plus 7. Here's doing that 2 times. So you have 8m times 8m plus 7. And then you have plus 7 times 8m plus 7. So 8 times 8 is 64m squared plus 56m. 7 times 8 here. Again, 56m. 7 times 7 here is 49. My 56 is combined to get 112. And 49. Last problem. So 4p times 4p plus 6, negative 6 times 4p plus 6. So I have 16p squared, and then I have 24p. But then over here I have a negative 24p. So notice those two are going to cancel. And I'm going to subtract. And so I'm just left with 16p squared minus 36. So the middle cancels out. There's OP's left. Okay, notice they're showing the work. Okay, it is quiz required. That is all. And good luck.